So hello, I'm so excited to have on my guest today. This is Matt Leiva. Matt is the CEO of ML Real Estate Group and a member of Keller Williams Luxury. Matt was born in Madrid, Spain, and grew up in New England. After playing collegiate soccer, Matt moved to the Northern Virginia area. Combining his love of sports and his entrepreneurial mindset, he began various businesses associated with youth sports. In 2017, driven by his interest in the housing market, Matt decided to get his real estate license. Currently, the ML Group Real Estate sold 122 homes with sales volume exceeding 82 million. That's huge. Congratulations. Matt and his team continue to thrive and grow, meeting the needs and demands of the market and far exceed their clients' expectations. So welcome, Matt. I'm thrilled to have you on. Matt, as I just mentioned, is in Northern Virginia. And so I take it that covers Maryland and DC as well.
The whole DMV.
Great. So I went to college in Arlington, Virginia. So I'm really excited to learn about what's going on in your neck of the woods. I started these Tuesday talks during the pandemic when I'm in Connecticut, and so many of my clients were downsizing, taking advantage of the seller's market and moving down south to your area and down to South Carolina and North Carolina. So I'm really interested to get a pulse on the market and what's happening there and what happened. Let's start with what happened last year and what you're seeing for this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were kind of talking, our area is so government focused and every major corporation on this planet, if they're at all in business with the US government, which most are, they have to have some level of a headquarters here. So, even when COVID hit, I'm sure at some level, a lot of things changed for a lot of people, but the majority of the workforce here is government tied or government contractors, et cetera, et cetera. So they just kind of went from going to the office to not going to the office. There was no they all just worked from home and saved money because they weren't paying for, expensive gas and high tolls and eating out every day. So, that I think, obviously the market went kind of bananas altogether all over the country, but for us, I think it just let people, it fueled the paying higher prices, paying escalations, all that, because there was just a lot more disposable income. A good chunk of the people, the workforce here, their financial day-to-day didn't change all that much, except it actually got a little bit more positive because their expenses went down. So
interesting.
Yeah, so that was interesting. But it's nice. It's a consistent market here. I wasn't in the market in 2008, but what I was told was even in 2008, when the entire world was blowing up, Northern Virginia was 20 to 25% ahead in home sales nationwide. And there's just a reality to people having to move in and out of this area on a very consistent basis. There's certain things like Secret Service, State Department. They say that all roads lead to DC, but all roads also lead away from DC, which means that DC always is a stop, but it's never the final. It rarely is it the final stop for them. So yeah, that's the fun part.
So every 4 years, do you see a massive turnover? Obviously, if there's a new president,
but I find that we have different cycles. So remember, every 2 years we have major elections, right? That are congressional, Senate, governor's races, whatever. So there's movement there. A lot of government posts, State Department, et cetera, they are 2-year, 3-year assignments, and then they move. Then they go out of the country or they come back from being overseas. So it doesn't feel like it's just a solid every 4 years. There's kind of constant movement.
Wow. Well, that's great for you. That's awesome.
It is. It can be.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your area, what does $1 million buy?
Yeah, that depends. If you're in the middle of DC, it might buy you 1,800 square feet in a townhouse, row home, something like that. In where I live, it's a somewhat run-of-the-mill single-family house. So like my neighborhood, when we bought a couple of years ago, the nicer homes were in the 6 to 7 range. They're all 950 to 1.1 now. And if you go out a little bit further, you can maybe get an acre and you can have a little bit of property. But we're not California that $1 million buys you a 2-bedroom, apartment, right?
Exactly.
We're not there, but we're also not where, $1 million doesn't buy you everything you think it would.
Right,
And
exactly.
you're probably similar to where you are, right?
Exactly. And now, so how are the taxes? Are they totally different from Northern Virginia and Maryland and DC? Are those three totally different kind of tax
Yeah,
ranges?
Maryland's a little bit higher. We have, I would say decent property taxes.
Okay.
When I look at like where I grew up, I grew up in New Hampshire, so you have, what is it? You have no income tax in New Hampshire, but your property taxes are super high. So like I remember my parents' house that I think they sold for about $70,000 a couple, maybe 8 to 10 years ago. The property taxes were the same on that property as a $500,000 single family home here in Northern Virginia. So, that's kind of how we figure it. Like $500,000 home tax value is probably $4,500 a year in property taxes, something like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so not super high, but not low either, right? People are moving from here to the North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, to get those lower taxes. You come to Northern Virginia for a couple reasons, right? The schools are incredible. Fairfax County public schools are known nationwide as one of the top school systems. Arlington is fantastic. Alexandria School, they're all very good schools.
Right.
And the employment base. The reality is we have, I think it's 3 of the top 5 wealthiest counties in the country are right here.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
You really, Falls Church City, Loudoun County and Fairfax County are 3 of the wealthiest counties in the country. So you just have a very high average income, median income. You have very good, solid property values. Major international airport here. Dulles Airport is right down the road from our office. So yeah, it's that area, but it's also an area where I find people don't really stay to retire here, right? It's kind of come in, make your money, get the kids through school. And we see a big move when kids start to graduate college. That's when you start to see, a lot of times high school, but really college is when you see parents going, all right,
time to go.
See you later. It's similar to your area. It's not a low stress area. We have the 7th worst traffic in the country. We have but the positives are what bring those things as well, and so for a young family, you weigh it and you say, look, it's a little bit higher stress. There's more people here, but the opportunity is incredible. The education for our kids is incredible. But you can really do well financially here and then take that money and buy something in maybe a southern state and you get whatever you want for what,
right. Absolutely.
For half of what you sold your house for here, right?
Exactly.
So I love the area. I've loved it since I moved down here. I came down I was in New England and I just felt life was just so slow and slow paced all the time. And I came down to visit DC for a couple of days to see friends. And I went home and I called my parents and I said, I'm moving. It was just like, it was
quick. Yep.
I love the energy of just the day to day and the city right there. And so that's why I'm a big fan of the area. So.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously you have the arts and culture and great restaurants and shopping. There's so much in the DC area.
Everything. Yeah. Great restaurants. Yeah. And we go to other parts in the country and we hear about their food and we go, yeah, but
yeah, exactly.
you have such an international influence here that your Chinese restaurant it's real Chinese food for the most part, right? And so sometimes we travel and we think, yeah, it's fun, but we really love eating out and doing all that, and so just having everything at our fingertips is so nice.
Absolutely.
So.
And then in the summer, is Rehoboth and Bethany Beach, are those still the beaches that everybody goes to? Yeah,
certainly. Yeah. Ocean City, Dewey, Rehoboth, and then obviously Outer Banks, North Carolina. That's
absolutely right.
Virginia Beach has actually really come up in the last few years. It used to not be a great area, but now you go to the northern end of Virginia Beach and the homes are unbelievable. The hotels are beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. And that's from DC. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours on the dot, give or take some horrific traffic that can happen on the way. But so there, and then Outer Banks are 5 to 6 hours, depending on which section you go to. So I find for the most part, people that I know that have beach properties either have condos in Ocean City, Maryland, or they have vacation rentals that they'll go to, or they own a property down in the Outer Banks. That seems to be,
the typical. No, that sounds great. Perfect. And do you have any exciting listings to tell us about or coming up that you want to share?
We've got a couple. We have one in Aldie, which is kind of horse country here in Virginia. So it's 20 minutes from Dulles Airport, but it's about 100 acres, 13,000 square foot property, unbelievable views. We have a new development that are all 5 to 20 acre custom homes that we're selling, and those are anywhere from $1.8 million to $3 million, depending on what you do. And that's to kind of do the ground up, and work with builders. So we have another one in McLean that's off the market right now, but it's coming back on in about a month and a half. That's sitting on 5 acres. Probably you could almost throw a stick to the CIA. It's that close. You're about 8 minutes from the Capitol. That sounds gorgeous. Very cool locations.
Very pretty area down there. Well, this has been great. Thank you so very much.
No problem.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Sure. So my company is the ML Real Estate Group. And I'm on Instagram, Agent Matt KW81, I think is my name.
It's like a Secret Service kind of name.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly.
And my number 703-400-7012. If anybody has any questions about the area, we'd love to help. And obviously through you, Christine, if they want to reach out, they can do that. And I will be teaching in South Florida at the end of January next week. I'll be down there for 3 days, and I'll be on stage at Family Reunion. So
how great. What are you teaching?
Talking about, obviously I'm a luxury ambassador as well. And so I'll be on the panel talking about luxury marketing materials and branding. So it'll be a good panel. Somebody from Beverly Hills, Jeff Yarborough, will be on with me on the same panel. So yeah.
Oh my God, what a great panel.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for you.
All right. Nice chatting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.